Welcome, gents. The moment you stop conforming, you start becoming dangerous. Society expects people to follow a script, be social, seek approval, fit in. But Sigma males, they walk a completely different path. You've always felt different, haven't you? Not in a way that makes you superior, but in a way that makes you unshackled. You don't chase validation. You don't play the social games. And you don't force yourself into places where you don't belong. And because of that, people don't always understand you. They call you distant, odd, even intimidating. But here's the truth. Your so-called weird habits are what set you apart. They are proof that you live by your own rules. You don't talk just to fill silence. You observe more than you speak. You distance yourself when the energy feels off. You disappear when you need to reset, and you return only when you decide. That's not weakness, that's power. Some will misunderstand you. Let them. Others will underestimate you. Let them. Your strength has never been in being seen. It's in being uncontrollable. Today, we're breaking down 11 unusual habits that every Sigma male has. Not to change them, but to embrace them. If any of these resonate with you, know this. You're not broken, you're just built differently, and that's exactly why you win. Number 1, ignoring calls and texts for no apparent reason. Ever had someone blow up your phone with, "Why haven't you responded?" or "Are you mad at me?" Meanwhile, you're just sitting there, completely unbothered, wondering why people expect a response the second they hit send. Here's the thing. Sigma males don't operate on society's unspoken rule of instant communication. They don't feel the need to be constantly available just because technology makes it possible. If they don't see a conversation as urgent or meaningful, they simply won't engage. It's not personal. It's not arrogance. It's just the way they function. Most people check their phones obsessively, feeling anxious if they don't respond right away. Sigma males, the opposite. They can go hours, days, even weeks without texting back, without a second thought. They aren't ignoring people out of spite. They just prioritize peace over obligation. If a message doesn't require immediate attention, they'll deal with it on their time. This habit confuses and sometimes frustrates people, especially those who equate quick replies with care. But here's the truth. Sigma males value their energy. They aren't here to entertain small talk, forced pleasantries, or unnecessary check-ins. When they respond, it's because they genuinely want to, not because they feel pressured to. And let's be real, when they do text back, it's usually short and straight to the point. No fluff, no unnecessary explanations, just the information that matters. That's because Sigma males don't waste words. They'd rather communicate with purpose than engage in endless, meaningless exchanges. So, if a Sigma male doesn't respond to your message right away, don't take it personally. They're not playing games. They're just choosing when and how to engage on their own terms. And if that bothers you, well, that's your problem, not theirs. Number 2, mentally exiting conversations while still nodding. Ever found yourself trapped in a conversation where someone just keeps talking, but you stopped listening 5 minutes ago? You're standing there, nodding at all the right moments, maybe throwing in a, "Yeah, that makes sense," or a, "That's crazy," just to keep the illusion alive. Meanwhile, your mind is 1,000 miles away, analyzing, planning, or just enjoying the silence in your head. This isn't rudeness, it's efficiency. Sigma males have an internal filter that automatically sorts conversations into valuable and unnecessary noise. If a discussion lacks purpose, depth, or relevance, their brain switches into power-saving mode. The body stays in the conversation, but the mind? It's elsewhere, solving problems, thinking about an upcoming project, or simply embracing the peaceful void of nothingness. People often mistake this for disinterest, but the truth is, Sigma males do listen, just selectively. If someone brings insight, fresh ideas, or an interesting perspective, they're all in. But if it's gossip, small talk, or just someone rambling for the sake of being heard, that's when the mental exit happens. It's not personal, it's about conserving energy. Most people feel obligated to engage in every conversation out of politeness. Sigma males, they don't fake interest where there is none. They mastered the skill of appearing present while mentally retreating. They'll nod, maintain eye contact, and give just enough verbal cues to keep things moving, but internally, they're already somewhere else. And here's the kicker. Most people never notice. They're too caught up in their own words to realize that the Sigma male checked out 5 minutes ago. That's the beauty of it. No arguments, no forced interactions, just a silent, strategic retreat from meaningless chatter. So if you ever see a Sigma male nodding along while looking oddly calm, don't assume they're fully engaged. They might just be mentally somewhere far more interesting. And honestly, can you blame them? Number 3, hyperfixating on random topics for no logical reason. Sigma males have this habit that might seem odd to most people. They get obsessed with something, dive deep into it, and then just drop it. One week they're reading everything they can about ancient philosophy. The next week they're fully absorbed in the complexities of quantum physics. It's not because they're trying to be impressive or to fit into some intellectual mold. It's purely about curiosity. For Sigma males, learning is more of a journey than a destination. They latch onto a topic, devour it from all angles, books, podcasts, documentaries, even obscure articles no one else would bother with. And when they feel like they've squeezed every drop of value out of it, they move on. It's not about being consistent or mastering one thing. It's about feeding their endless hunger for knowledge, exploring whatever catches their interest in the moment. But here's the thing, this habit is misunderstood. On the surface, it might seem like they lack focus or are easily distracted, but in reality, it's the opposite. They don't see value in sticking to one thing forever. Instead, they test their mental flexibility by jumping from subject to subject, training their mind to adapt, learn quickly, and think outside the box. If something feels like it's not adding real value to their life anymore, they simply let it go. No guilt, no second thoughts. They know what they need, and when it's time to move on, they do. And don't be fooled. These random deep dives often give them surprising insights. They can tie concepts from seemingly unrelated subjects together, creating unique perspectives that others wouldn't even think to connect. They don't just learn to be smart, they learn how to think. So, next time you see a Sigma male obsessing over something you think is random, know that it's not just a phase, it's their way of sharpening their mind, pushing their boundaries, and constantly evolving. And when they drop it, they're already onto the next mental adventure, their own resilience. Number 4, letting people assume they're broke or unsuccessful. Sigma males have mastered the art of being underestimated. They don't flaunt their wealth, achievements, or intelligence. If people assume they're struggling, they let them. If others think they're average, they don't correct them. Why? Because being underestimated is one of the greatest advantages in life. Most people crave validation. They need others to see their success, acknowledge their intelligence, and admire their achievements. Sigma males, they don't care. They have nothing to prove and no desire to impress. Their mindset is simple. Why reveal my strengths when I can observe yours first? By keeping a low profile, they avoid unnecessary attention and fake admiration. Opportunists don't bother them because there's nothing to take advantage of, at least not visibly. People don't ask for favors, don't try to exploit their connections, and don't treat them differently based on assumptions of wealth or power. But make no mistake, this isn't self-sabotage. This is strategy. A Sigma male would rather let someone believe they're broke than waste time explaining their success to those who don't matter. They'd rather be seen as unimportant than attract people who only respect them for superficial reasons. And when the time comes to reveal their true capabilities, it always catches people off guard. The best part? This habit filters out the wrong people. It exposes who judges others by appearances, who only respects those with obvious status, and who is quick to dismiss someone they think has nothing to offer. Sigma males use this to their advantage, quietly observing, learning who's genuine, and deciding who is worthy of knowing the truth. So, if a Sigma male ever lets you believe they're struggling, think twice. They might be sitting on wealth, knowledge, and power beyond what you could ever imagine. And when the moment is right, they'll remind everyone why underestimation is the deadliest mistake anyone can make. Number 5, having conversations with themselves, out loud sometimes. Ever walked past someone who seemed to be having a full-blown conversation, only to realize they were completely alone? That's a Sigma male in their natural state. They talk to themselves not because they're losing it, but because it's how they process thoughts, sharpen ideas, and solve problems. Most people think internally. Their thoughts bounce around inside their heads, often tangled in a mess of emotions, distractions, and second-guessing. Sigma males, on the other hand, externalize their thinking. They speak their ideas into existence, debate both sides of an argument, and even challenge their own logic, all out loud. It's not about seeking answers from others. It's about hearing their own reasoning clearly without interference. This habit often catches people off guard. You might find a Sigma male whispering under their breath in a grocery store, arguing with an invisible opponent in their car, or pacing around their room like they're in the middle of a high-stakes board meeting. To outsiders, it looks strange. To Sigma males, it's completely normal. Why? Because this method works. Speaking thoughts aloud forces clarity. It sharpens their ability to make decisions, structure ideas, and cut through mental clutter. It's like running a system diagnostic on their own mind, testing theories, refining strategies, and breaking down complex issues into logical steps. And let's be real, who else is going to give them a better answer than themselves? They don't trust mindless opinions or groupthink. They trust their own ability to analyze, adapt, and solve problems independently. But here's what most people don't realize. Sigma males aren't talking to themselves in a traditional sense. They're thinking at a higher level, using spoken words as tools to refine their intelligence. So if you ever catch a Sigma male deep in conversation with no one else in sight, don't interrupt. You're witnessing a mind sharpening itself in real time. Number 6, intentionally creating distance to test people's reactions. Sigma males don't just let people into their lives blindly, they test them, and one of their favorite ways to do this, they create distance intentionally. They pull back, go silent, and disappear for a while just to see who notices, who respects their space, and who starts panicking. It's not about playing games, it's about revealing truth. When they withdraw, they're watching closely. Does someone get desperate, bombarding them with messages, demanding attention? That's a red flag. Clinginess and emotional dependency instantly turn them off. But if someone gives them space, stays calm, and carries on as usual, that's a sign of strength, self-respect, and emotional stability, qualities Sigma males actually respect. This habit isn't just about testing individuals, it's about protecting their energy. Sigma males are selective about who they let into their world, and they refuse to entertain people who are emotionally fragile, manipulative, or overly dependent. They want people who can handle distance, who don't take things personally, and who understand that solitude isn't rejection, it's preference. And here's the brutal truth. If you fail this test, you don't even realize you've failed. Sigma males won't argue, explain, or offer second chances. They'll just slowly fade you out of their life. No drama, no confrontation. They don't waste energy on people who can't handle their nature. But if you pass, if you respect their space, don't chase them, and remain confident in their absence. They notice, and that's when the real bond begins. Sigma males gravitate toward people who don't need them, but choose them. So if a Sigma male ever pulls away, don't panic, don't chase, just let them be. Because how you react in their silence determines whether you stay in their world or become just another name they quietly erase. Number 8, randomly disappearing for days or weeks without explanation. One day they're around, the next, gone. No warning, no explanation, no dramatic exit, just silence. Sigma males have a habit of vanishing off the radar for days, sometimes weeks, and when they return, they act like nothing happened. Most people disappear because of chaos, relationship drama, burnout, or a crisis they can't handle. But for Sigma males, it's different. They choose to step away. It's not about running from problems, it's about protecting their peace. The world is loud, people are draining, and constant interaction is exhausting. So every now and then they disconnect. No texts, no social media, no updates, just pure solitude. During these periods, they're not being lazy or wasting time. They're recalibrating. This is when they reflect, plan, and reset. Some dive into books, binge learn new skills, or immerse themselves in deep thinking. Others simply exist in silence, allowing their mind to breathe without the weight of expectations. And when they come back, they don't offer explanations. Why? Because they don't owe anyone one. Their time is their own, and they refuse to be guilt-tripped into constant availability. If someone can't handle their need for space, they see it as their problem, not the Sigma males. This habit filters people. The insecure ones will panic, overthink, and demand answers. The mature ones will respect the space and welcome them back like they never left. Sigma males pay attention to this because it reveals who truly understands them and who simply wants access to them. So if you know a Sigma male and they suddenly disappear, don't take it personally. They're not ghosting you. They're not lost. They're just stepping into their own world for a while because that's where they find their strength. Number 9, rejecting the need to be understood. Most people crave understanding. They want others to see them, validate them, and make sense of who they are. Sigma males, they've abandoned that need entirely. They know they're different and they don't care to explain themselves. From an early age, they realize that no matter how much they try to fit in, people will always misunderstand them. Their quiet nature is mistaken for arrogance. Their independence is seen as detachment. Their refusal to follow trends or social norms confuses those who desperately seek approval. Instead of wasting time convincing others of who they are, Sigma males simply let them think whatever they want. They walk their own path, with or without approval. They don't waste energy arguing about their beliefs, justifying their choices, or proving their worth. Why? Because they understand something most people don't. Explanations change nothing. Those who truly respect them don't need explanations, and those who demand explanations will never truly respect them. This mindset makes them untouchable. They don't feel the need to be liked. They don't bend their personality to fit someone's expectations, and they certainly don't seek validation from the masses. Instead, they focus on what matters, building their skills, mastering their mind, and living life on their terms. Of course, this unnerves people. Society teaches everyone to conform, to explain themselves, to seek permission to be different. But Sigma males refuse to play that game. If someone doesn't understand their way of thinking, their silence says everything. That's not my problem. So if you ever wonder why a Sigma male doesn't bother defending his choices, it's simple. He doesn't need to. He's already made peace with the fact that not everyone will get him. And instead of wasting time proving himself, he uses that time to move forward, leaving the confused ones behind. Number 10, secretly observing people like a social scientist. Ever walked into a room and felt like someone was studying you even though they weren't saying a word? That's a Sigma male. While most people engage in conversations at face value, Sigma males are quietly analyzing everything. Body language, tone shifts, eye movements, even the pauses between words. To them, human interaction isn't just communication, it's data. They're like social scientists without the lab coats, constantly gathering intel. A fake smile, a nervous twitch, a forced laugh, Sigma males notice it all. They don't just listen to what people say, they decode what's really being said beneath the surface. Is someone lying, hiding their true intentions, trying to manipulate the situation? Most people take words at face value, but a Sigma male peels back the layers, seeing what others miss entirely. This isn't about paranoia or judgment, it's about understanding. Sigma males have no interest in shallow small talk or forced politeness. Instead, they watch, absorb, and assess. They know that actions speak louder than words, and patterns reveal more truth than promises ever will. And because they don't seek attention, they can sit back unnoticed, observing how people behave when they think no one's watching. This ability makes them impossible to fool. Manipulators hate them because their usual tricks don't work. Fake people feel uncomfortable around them because deep down, they know they're being seen for who they really are. Meanwhile, those with genuine intentions find Sigma males surprisingly perceptive, often understanding them better than they understand themselves. But here's the real power of this habit. Sigma males don't just analyze others, they analyze themselves. They track their own emotions, reactions, and weaknesses with the same cold precision. This constant self-awareness sharpens their instincts, allowing them to navigate life with an almost unfair advantage. So, if a Sigma male ever looks at you a little too long, don't assume they're being rude. They're just doing what they do best, seeing you in ways you didn't even know you could be seen. Number 11, doing things the hard way just to prove they can. Most people seek the easiest, fastest, and most convenient way to do things. Sigma males. They intentionally take the harder route, not for attention, not for bragging rights, but to prove to themselves that they don't need convenience. If there's a quick way and a challenging way, they'll choose the challenge. Not because they enjoy struggle, but because they trust struggle. It sharpens their skills, tests their patience, and keeps them mentally sharp. They don't want to be dependent on technology, trends, or systems they don't control, so they teach themselves things the old-school way, learning trades, building things from scratch, mastering skills that most people would never even attempt. If they want to fix something, they won't call a professional until they've at least tried to figure it out themselves. If they need to learn a skill, they won't take a shortcut tutorial. They'll dive deep, understanding every layer of the process. To outsiders, this looks inefficient. To Sigma males, it's self-reliance. This mindset extends beyond just tasks. It's a way of life. They resist anything that makes them too comfortable because they know comfort breeds weakness. They see how modern conveniences make people lazy, dependent, and soft. They refuse to be that person. So they push themselves in ways others wouldn't. They'll walk instead of taking an Uber, cook from scratch instead of ordering delivery, read physical books instead of relying on summaries, not because they have to, but because they want to. Because they know that every extra effort, every unnecessary struggle, every so-called inefficient choice makes them sharper, tougher, and less reliant on the system. Sigma males aren't just proving they can do things the hard way. They're proving that they don't need the easy way. And that kind of mindset, that's what makes them truly unstoppable. In conclusion, your weird habits are your greatest strength. Society has a habit of labeling anything unconventional as strange, difficult, or even wrong. But Sigma males? They don't exist to fit in. They exist to understand, adapt, and master their own path. The very things that make them seem odd to others are the same things that give them an edge. You ignore calls and texts, not because you're rude, but because you refuse to be chained to social expectations. You mentally exit conversations not out of disrespect, but because your mind prioritizes what truly matters. You fixate on random topics because you crave knowledge, not approval. Everything you do, whether it makes sense to others or not, is part of your unique wiring. And that is what sets you apart. The world often tries to pressure people into sameness, but the Sigma male thrives in his difference. He doesn't explain himself. He doesn't seek permission. He doesn't adjust to make others comfortable. He simply is. And that in itself is power. So, if you've ever been made to feel like your habits are strange, take it as a compliment. You weren't built to be predictable. You were built to be exceptional. Keep walking your path. Keep refining your mind. Keep doing things your way. Because at the end of the day, the world belongs not to those who fit in, but to those who stand out and never apologize for it. Thank you for watching, and God bless you. God bless.